Hello and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready.
Ready.
And today we thought we'd talk about this General's Handbook.
Handbook.
So there's actually a new General's Handbook coming.
Yes.
Right, coming in probably July. But we thought we'd talk about this one, our thoughts about it.
This one right here.
And
this was purchased with our own dollars.
It is purchased with our own dollars. There's no sponsorship or anything like that. But I thought we'd talk about first the battle plans that make it up, which ones were good, which ones were dumb. And then also what we thought of the battle pack, the rules that came with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, what we want to see for handbooks going forward, including whether we want the 6 month to continue or go back to a year. So first, battle plans. All right, first battle plan is Only the Worthy. This is the one, there's four objectives in a diamond pattern. And this is the one where once you have a Galatian champion on an objective, only champions can contest.
Yeah. This is the one we did Ogres versus Slanesh, right?
I can't remember the battle. But what did you think of that battle plan?
I'm not sure if I liked that one as much. Because if your army doesn't have a champion and the other army goes champion heavy, you essentially can't win.
Yeah, I think that, so we'll get to this a little bit when we talk about the rules, but everything was very heavy on champions. So you needed to put champions into your army.
And over half the time I didn't, especially with Gloomspite.
Yeah, Gloomspite doesn't have a lot of champions.
They only have
it makes it hard for things like
two.
Caradron, right? Because your boats, which would normally count for 5, are going to be 0 if there's even one stupid guy on it,
like
right?
Rot Shaman.
Right. So, but in theory, if everybody knows you're playing in this battle plan, you're going to make room for some champions, right?
In theory. Practice might be different.
I liked this one. I thought the battle plan was good. I thought the 4 objectives were good. It made a lot of sense to me. The only thing is, you're right, that some armies are just going to have
a hard time.
A big advantage. Yeah, for sure. But overall, I like that battle plan. Next one, Path of a Champion. So this one, it's 4 objectives in the 4 corners, and you start in opposite corner edges. And then, so this one wasn't that big a deal. So This one said if you have a champion on an objective outside your territory, which is all but the one you start in, you can pick 2 battle tactics instead of 1. This didn't turn out to be super impactful in our game.
I don't think we did it.
I don't think we ever took advantage of it. Partly because...
I guess we used to get big points big fast.
Yeah. I think I try not to, although I do sometimes, but I try not to use battle tome tactics.
I like doing tome tactics.
Yeah. So if you don't have those, you only have the normal 8 of them, and the odds that you're going to be able to do 2 in a turn, I mean, at least at the level that we play, tend to be pretty low. So Path of a Champion was fine. I think the battle plan itself was fine. 4 objectives, you go get the objectives, nothing wrong with it. But it didn't really lean into the Galatian champion as much, at least for us. Now, again, I could see if you've got some great book battle tactics and you can desecrate and do a book battle tactic and get 4 points on a turn, I mean, you can really run up the score.
Yeah.
So I think that that didn't really play out that way for us, but I could see the potential for it to make book battle tactics way more important, right? Because then you're getting the opportunity to do multiples rather than just 1 at a time.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that could be like a generic thing in the sort of almost like a generic thing for the General's Handbook.
Mm-hmm.
But it would have to be if it's something in your opponent, if it's like an objective in your opponent's territory or something.
Yeah, we could see something like that. All right, number 3, Jaws of Gallet. All right, this is an interesting
I like this one.
5 objectives, and then the deployment zones were real weird because they went around sort of the corners.
Sort of like it's how the knight moves in chess, except
it's how the knight moves in chess,
except a little elongated on one side.
Oh yeah. This one was a good one. I actually really liked this one because this was the one that it didn't. Champions, I don't think mattered at all. Did they? I don't think they did. I don't think they mattered at all. But what mattered was at the end of each, or at the start of each battle round, whoever was going second could eat one of the objectives.
Nom.
Super fun. Nommed. Super fun. I really like that because it gives a lot of incentive to go second. And you'll there. I think in that battle plan, I don't remember if I did or not, but I could see myself giving my opponent the double just so that I could go second and remove an objective. It's that powerful. And so that was really fun. I do like that one because it forces a lot of movement. It gets the armies to slowly crush into each other, right? You spread apart for 5 objectives at first, but as they leave, they come in. That one might be my favorite of the new 6.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that one?
I like that one too.
Yeah? What do you like about it?
I like that it forces your army to spread out, but once again, it's favoring certain armies over others.
Well, I think every battle plan is going to do that. Every battle plan is going to have a special rule that some armies are going to be able to take advantage of more than others, for sure. But this one was a top tier. I really like that one. Battle Plan 4, Ours for the Taking. So this is the one where there was a center objective and then a home objective. But what was interesting is because of the way the territories are set apart, your home objective is on the border of your territory, really close to where the other side sets up.
Yeah.
Right? So the home objective is worth more points. Yeah, 1 point for your home, 1 point for the center, and 2 points for the opposite. That was really good. We've had several battle plans in this style where like yours is worth something, and then the middle's ones are worth a little bit more, and then the opponent one is worth even more. I really like this one for 2 reasons. First, the home objective was threatened from the very beginning. Usually in ones like that, you're like, well, I'll put some guys on my back objective, and maybe I need to worry about somebody teleporting in or something. So I'll have some guys back there. But in general, you just sort of march forward like normal. But in this one, you had to make a big choice between, all right, how much of my army am I committing to go take theirs, and how much am I committing to prevent mine from being taken?
And how much are you committing to take the center?
Yeah, for sure. Super interesting. I really like this one. And I thought the scoring was good too. Because the scoring was...
Except for the center objective. How the center objective scores.
Well, the scoring was... it goes... Yours is always worth 1.
Yep.
Theirs is always worth 2. And the center is worth 1 unless you have a champion on it. Then it's worth 2. So again, playing into the champions a little bit. But I liked it because if I managed to take over your home objective for 1 turn, I get a bonus point, right? Whereas in some of those other ones where it's worth 4 points, if I get it for 1, I come in there, I score it, and then my guys just immediately die. Man, going up by 4 points is huge, right? So the scoring I thought was a lot better. I really liked Ours for the Taking. What'd you think?
I liked it too.
What'd you like about it?
Wait, wasn't this the one where I was cracking?
I don't remember who you played.
I don't remember either.
Well, what did you like about this battle plan?
I like pretty much what you said.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a Tetris piece.
It is a Tetris piece. All right, number 5, Twists and Turns. So
it's the exact same setup.
You still have those corner things, but this time there's 5 objectives in a diagonal. Very musical. But you have the 5 objectives in a diagonal. And this is the one where if you control it at the end of the turn, you roll and it might turn off.
Oh, I did not no.
You control it at the beginning, you can roll it and it might turn on. Now, when we played this one, I actually did not like it that much, and you sort of liked it.
Sorta. Now in hindsight, I don't really like it.
Why not?
Because if you need the objective for the turn to win, it's a roll of the dice to see if you win. I don't like it.
Yeah, there's a very minor modification where you can put a champion on it, and that gives you a +1. But otherwise, it's a
roll of the dice.
It's a roll of the dice.
Feels like old Gloom's fight.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Well, it just feels like there's lots of times when you're committing troops and you're taking that hill and you're suffering losses, and then you roll the die and you're like, oh, I guess it wasn't worth anything. Oh, whoops. I don't know. I was not a fan of that. I thought it was too random. And now in a given game, it might end up being real cool, right? It might end up with some cool moments. But for me, and I do like the cool moments, there's too much. There's too much randomness. I felt every time we would roll, that was my reaction a lot of the time was this. Okay, I guess we're going to go fight over these objectives.
Yeah.
It was never like, oh, how cool. Oh, this thing is up. It was always,
okay.
All right, let's do this. So probably my least favorite. I don't know that I hate it, or would refuse to play it, but probably my least favorite of the new ones.
Yeah.
Agree?
Yeah.
All right. Last one. Position over power.
I'm positioned over the power.
All right. I really like this one too.
I don't remember what happened.
That's
right,
5 out of 6.
I like it.
This one was pretty cool because there's 2 objectives, one in each territory, and then 2 objectives way out on the edges. And that's it for the 3 battle rounds. And then the battle round 4, those edge ones pop off, and it's just the 2 internal ones.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you start by spreading out a little bit and fighting, and then crushing into the center,
almost like
towards
reverse
the
better.
end. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I really liked it. I think, obviously, in a game like that, armies with better mobility, better speed,
Squigs.
yeah, they're gonna
Squiggledy squigs.
They're gonna have the advantage. But just super fun, super fun. I really liked that one. So that's out of the 6 new battle plans.
I remembered 1.
You remember one, but 5, the most recent one. But 5 were really good.
Yeah.
I mean, 5 were just solid. So I thought this was a good pack of battle plans. All right. So now the battle pack itself was all about Galatian champions.
I think they went too heavy.
Well, let's talk about it. So Galatian champions are foot heroes of less than 9. No, foot heroes that aren't unique. I think that's what it is, right?
Foot heroes that aren't unique that have a
that aren't-
wounds characteristic of less than 9.
So yeah. So those are Galatian champions. Now the Galatian champions can't be shot if they're near any other units.
Yeah.
Although you can put your shooters in a battalion to shoot them, to ignore that rule.
Yeah.
And then there's a battalion to put your guys in so they can fight in 2 ranks, right?
Yeah.
In the last battle pack, that just sort of happened automatically. All your veterans, Galatian veterans, did that. Now you have to put them in a battalion, which means you can't have a 1 drop if you want that as well. And then there was a realm spell we never used.
Yeah. The one in Thania where you make your guys a monster.
Yep.
I think is a lot better.
Well, I think it was.
Than whatever realm spell this one was.
This is the one where you could cast it on an objective, and then all the models on that objective potentially take mortal wounds.
Well, that's stupid.
It just never came up. It just wasn't that good because it just never came up for us. It also had a command ability that we never used, so just not super impactful in our games, at least.
I never even knew these things.
We talked about it. You just forgot. But I like. But the main emphasis was Galatian champions. So what did you think?
I think if they hadn't gone so heavy into Galatian champions, it would have been better.
Okay.
Because
how so?
I feel like if they hadn't gone where having Galatian champions can really impact a game, like maybe it adds a minor benefit, but getting rare points, things like that really could mess up a game, especially if your list just doesn't have Galatian champions.
Yeah, well, I think if you're going to play these battle packs, you want to make a list that does have Galatian champions.
Or like an army with relatively few Galatian champions is also going to suffer.
Mm-hmm. I like this better than the last one with the veterans and the bounty hunters.
Oh, yeah. No, I like the veterans and bounty hunters a lot more.
Really? No, I thought the bounty hunters were very powerful.
That's the whole point. They're bounty hunters.
Yeah. But I liked that your little guys, your little foot heroes wouldn't get shot off the board. I liked that in a lot of battle plans, it was important to move them onto objectives and just instead of just staying behind and buffing your units. I thought it was pretty fun. Now, not every army has champions, right? And so that does have an impact. But for what it was in this one, I like this one a lot. And maybe some of the things they pushed it a little too hard, especially with like bonus points on objectives and things like that. But that wasn't every battle plan. And overall, I really liked champions. In fact, the way that they took the foot heroes and made them not targetable or potentially not targetable by shooting, I thought was really good. And that is something I would like to see more broadly. I think those kind of foot heroes who their whole purpose is just to buff your units, and then or to make you cry when they get killed and they can't buff your units anymore. It's like maybe we need to have some kind of extra protection for them, whether it's Galatian champions, whether it's I know in 40K you can attach them to units, so then when you kill units, you You don't
Yeah.
apply the
Mhm.
wounds to the heroes, right? So there's lots of different ways you could do it. I don't think Lookout Sir is good enough.
Yeah.
I think Galatian Champions is a good stab at it. They could probably improve it.
Yeah.
Good stab.
Stab.
But I would like to see, I thought that was really good. And I also thought the other battalion was good, where it just eliminates the special rule. It's not like Bounty Hunters where they can do a bunch of extra damage or something like that. It just eliminates the special rule. And I thought that was good.
And except if you put that in something either has a lot of health or can deal a lot of damage, he's just gonna get shot off the board. I feel like being able to have that battalion just counteracts the rule. And you're just gonna shove all your heavy shooting stuff into that battalion.
Well, I don't think you want the Galatian champion to be completely immune, but you had a lot of shooting lists and you never took that battalion, so.
Because I forgot.
Okay. All right. So then the last question we have is, all right, we've had 6 month, typically General's Handbooks last a year, right? These last 2 or 6 months, season 1 and season 2. What do you think of the 6 month?
Don't like them.
Why?
Because even with the year, I still sort of felt like I didn't really learn the rules. 6 months, I'm forgetting standard things left and right.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I feel like, some people don't play hardly at all. They play, once a month or even
Exactly.
less, right? So, and we play every week. So
Yeah.
we're playing, and then every other time is a 2,000 point game. So we're playing 2 to 3 3,000 point games a month,
Mhm.
and we're barely getting through the battle plans.
Yeah.
Right. It's really hard, especially in the season 1 when there were 12 battle plans to get through all 12.
But those
we just
were
barely
a lot.
made it.
No, those were a lot easier though because they were more simple. Like, run 3 yards forward, take an objective.
No, you're thinking of the Thondia one. I'm thinking of the season 1 of Gallet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think this particular rule set of Galatian Champions has probably been my favorite. I like Thondia too, but this one probably is my favorite. But I would really like to spend more times with the battle plans. I know that for some tournament players and for people who play way, way more than us, lucky dogs, it's, they were already, they've played all these battle plans
a
bunch of times. They're ready for something new. I get it. But I think for the vast majority of the player base, you're just gonna, it's too fast. I want something Thondia-ish where I'm going to be able to explore those battle plans for a full year.
Exploring.
Where even though we only play 2 to 3 times a month, if on Thondia, we played every battle plan several times, right?
So this one we barely got through.
Yeah, this one we barely got through. And we got a little time before the next GHB drops, so we'll get a little bit more time with these battle plans. But 6 months it's too fast.
Yeah,
it's too fast. I think that.
And now we should be moving to a new continent, right?
Well, we'll see. I know the new one's coming out. They haven't said if we're going to go to a new continent. They haven't said if it's going to be a Gallet for a year. We don't know. We don't know what it is, but we know. I shouldn't say we know, but we strongly suspect it'll have, same as before, new battle plans and probably a new battle pack with different rules. Right? We're going to be done with champions. We're going to be moving on to something else.
But the next question is, where's Seasons of War Gallet?
Yeah, it's so interesting. So Seasons of War Thondia came out. And
towards the end of Thondia.
Seasons of War Gallet, gone. No announcements. And they've even showed the roadmap of Age of Sigmar. It's not a whole lot of areas where Season of War Gallet could be. So we know it's not coming before the GHB launches. I wonder if there will be a Season of War Gallet, or if they just decided, that wasn't worth it. We're not doing it.
I mean, I don't even know if the Incarnates did anything.
Oh, they made a big splash in tournament games. There are a lot of incarnate lists, but we just didn't get it, and it's not something I'm interested in.
I don't even know what they do.
They eat endless spells. They're like Marathi mixed with endless spells.
So they're kind of strong-ish?
They can be, for sure. They're like 400 points or 450 points or something like that.
That's
and they definitely
Glutos level.
Yeah, and they're definitely strong.
That's crazy.
So overall, thoughts on the GHB?
Seemed like it put a little too much pressure on the champions.
Yeah, I think I disagree a little bit. I maybe a tad much in some battle plans, but overall, I like the emphasis on those foot heroes because otherwise, Those foot heroes aren't worth a whole lot in the game.
Yeah.
And so having a battle pack that increased their worth and made you want to bring them, I like that. Overall, I thought it was good. Just short. I thought all the battle plans were great. I thought the battle pack was pretty solid, even though it had some stuff we never used.
Yeah.
But too short. I would really like to see a longer seasons. What you up to?
How this closes confounds me.
There you go.
There we go.
All right. Well, if you've been playing General's Handbook, if you've been interested in it, let us know in the comments and give us your thoughts. Did you really like Galatian Champions, or did you think they were pushed too hard?
I think
You're not letting us know in the comments. You already talked.
I'm done.
And but definitely let us know, and also let us know what you're thinking about or what you're hoping for from the next one. If the rules change, what would you like to see? Like, we had monster emphasis, and now troop emphasis and
Mini hero emphasis.
foot hero emphasis. What would you like to see?
Maybe wizards, possibly.
Wizards would be cool, although I feel like wizards are already pretty powerful in the
Maybe
game.
named characters. A big emphasis on named characters.
Oh, that might be sort of interesting.
Meat trees.
Yeah,
Maybe an emphasis on terrain, because it's practically useless now, right?
Yeah, we don't have good terrain. If they introduce terrain rules as part of a GHB, that would be real interesting. I mean, assuming they're good.
Yes.
Because the whole
Mystical terrain.
Right, mystical terrain. Roll on a die and see. Oh, that's sinister terrain. Stop it. Nobody uses that, or at least we don't use it, and it's just sort of silly. So if they came out with terrain rules in the GHB, I think that'd be awesome. Something to look forward to.
Meat trees.
All right. Well, this has been another episode of Battle Ready. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah.